Stephen A. Smith, I will refresh your memory that on Friday, you told me I was blasphemous for saying Chris Paul is not a superstar. I underline the word superstar. I said he was a star, but I can't give him the super the way you
I don't recall you saying he was a star.
Yes, I did.
You called him CP0.
Because he has 0 championships. CP, 0 championships. So, back to the game. Back to the question. Time out. Superstars do not allow their team to lose a game 1 of the playoffs at home to a 7-point underdog, as CP0 did on Saturday against the Golden State Warriors. Superstars are not now 18 and 25 in the postseason.
That's not fair.
Superstars, well, let me finish. Superstars get out of the first round of the playoffs more than twice in 9 years of playing in the NBA.
You didn't say that about Melo.
We're not talking about Melo.
We're talking about CP3.
We're talking about CP3. I don't want to change the subject.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to let you change the subject.
Go ahead.
So as much as I'm going to give you the point that Blake Griffin played only 19 minutes, as much as I'm going to give you that Jamal Crawford shot 2 for 11 on Saturday, if we are talking about a superstar, the superstar has to get them home at the end of the game. And I know it was an iffy foul call, and the NBA said, oh, we blew that one. Wait a minute. They blew about 20 calls in that game, and so you have to give the superstar that kind of superstar treatment at the end. But again, Chris Paul cannot dribble into that much trouble and lose the ball out of bounds. I'm sorry, it was a huge play in the game. I'm not going to give you that one. And then superstars can't go to the free throw line down 3 with 11 seconds left and miss both free throws. If he's SUPER star, he makes at least one of those free throws, if not, heaven forbid, both those free throws. So I'm putting this on CP0, that he's got to come up bigger than that at home against an underdog for me to even think about superstar. Chris, I'm sorry, you're a good guy, but you got a lot to prove to me, and maybe it's going to start in game 2.
You're very disrespectful. First of all, you can put this loss on him to some degree because he already put it on himself. That's number one. Number two, 6 turnovers in the game doesn't help his cause. 28 and 8 definitely does help his cause. Those 2 big-time threes that he hit down the stretch definitely
impressive.
To it.
And
the man
and then what happened?
Listen. All right. Steph Curry didn't have the greatest game. But you know how I feel about Steph Curry. You know I call him a superstar.
Right.
You know I love me some Steph Curry, okay? Steph Curry combination, that Klay Thompson having about a 5 to 6 inch height advantage on Chris Paul, defending him for most of this game. Chris Paul, as far as I was concerned, both of them were relatively sloppy in the first half, as Jeff Van Gundy so astutely pointed out. Boy, is he funny to listen to, okay? But in the second half,
insightful.
Well, I know you know he's insightful. Yeah. But the second half, CP3 showed up. Now, obviously, you missed those free throws. That's bad. But Skip, I recall Magic Johnson blowing a game in the NBA Finals. I recall Michael Jordan not playing well in a playoff game. I recall plenty of stars, the Karl Malones and Stocktons of the world and others throughout history. You have stars that have games or bad moments within a game. So this is the kind of stuff that happens. The fact that CP3, not 0, 3, the fact that CP3,
I missed them. I missed all of them.
Excuse me, there's plenty of dudes that you've praised that don't have rings either. Don't sit there and be selective. Be
superstar.
Excuse me, superstars. Superstars. Don't give me that. Nobody want to hear that. The fact is, in the end, CP3 didn't have a good moment. You can't miss those free throws.
Thank you.
No doubt here.
Yeah.
The turnovers, even Rod Thorne, my man in the league office, talked about how it was fouled. It should have been called a foul. He should have been sent to the free throw line. What Doc Rivers astutely pointed out, they had their opportunities. They missed it. Even Doc Rivers said he called a bad play. He's a superstar coach, ain't he? It's one of the top 2 coaches in the game, ain't he, right?
Yeah.
But it happens.
And he's probably somewhere right now saying, I wish I had a superstar point guard.
Oh, please. See,
boy.
that's
super.
That is the disrespect.
No, it's the truth.
The blasphemous stuff coming out of your... Ooh.
Lightning's going to strike you.
Lightning is
because you're giving this kid a pass.
What do you mean giving him a pass?
Come on.
Look. This man lost in the playoffs to the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay,
this man lost in the playoffs to the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm glad you brought this up.
He hasn't had that team.
Hold on just a second.
He hasn't had that crew.
David West and Tyson Chandler and Pasha you had in New Orleans?
Excuse me. who were they going up against?
Okay.
What Laker team were they facing?
Time out. The
What
first time around, they lose to the Spurs, who weren't very good that year. They're about to get obliterated by your Lakers.
Yes.
They lost Game 7 at home in New Orleans to a mediocre Spurs team.
Mediocre Spurs.
Well, it wasn't.
With Manu, Tony, and Tim Duncan Younger. That's a mediocre.
They're beat up. They're all in.
I'm not going to use the word lie because we're going to be nice.
You know what? They lost to the Lakers 4-1 in the next round.
Big time fib. This is what you just told.
No, they lost at home.
These same
Game
Spurs.
7 at home. They didn't even have home court over these guys.
Are you kidding me? The Spurs, average, mediocre? Really?
Well, they didn't even have home court over the New
So
Orleans.
what? Who are they going up against?
Whoever they were.
They were going against the team coached by Popovich with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. And you just called them average. Have you been kissing them?
What happened the next year? The next year, first round exit to Denver 4-1. Was that Melo? I think it was. Next year, first round exit to the Lakers 4-2.
Okay. To who? Who was playing for the Lakers?
I don't know. That Kobe guy?
Bryant.
But it's a first round exit. Come on.
Look, come on. Come on now.
Okay, I'll call Kobe. I'll give you that. He's a superstar.
You're absolutely correct about that.
And then what happened last year? They get closed out. First of all, I skipped over that they got swept by the Spurs 2 years ago, 4-0.
Yeah.
But they lose the closeout game at Memphis last year. Do you remember this? And Chris Paul checked out of the game late. Wait a second. Time out. Chris Paul just said, I'm out. And he cheap shots Gasol. Did you see this play?
When he dropped 35, so what?
Cheap shots Gasol.
They'll show the video again. Show it again, kids.
We missed it. We got to see this again. It's too good. Chris Paul just checks out. He says, I'm out with 2.5 minutes to go. I have seen enough of this.
Let me say something. I'm going to say this again.
He cheap shot Gasol.
Zip it. I'm talking. Zip it. I said to you before, superstar point guard. When you are a point guard, you are an orchestrator, you are a facilitator, you are a floor general. I'm not talking about Kobe, Durant, LeBron type stuff. I'm talking about as a point guard.